Hey nerds, Bevan here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. If it is your first time, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so that you can see all my videos that come out here in the future. I'm putting out weekly content about toys and comic books, and I'd love to have you around. Last week's video was all about WWE Elite figures that were about to come out here in the next couple of months. But this week, I want to talk about Elite figures I hope Mattel releases this year, or at least announces. So what I'm going to do, talk about my wish list from Mattel, but then I also hit up Twitter and got some suggestions, so I'm going to list those out too for you guys. My wish list is kind of a grab bag. We'll go over it real quick here. First thing I'll talk about is a new updated Blackheart Tommaso Ciampa with NXT title. He has been killing it in 2018, and I've always been a big fan of Ciampa ever since his ROH days and all through NXT when he was with DIY with Johnny Gargano and the heel turn and all that. So they do have a DIY version of Ciampa out there, but they need to do a mass release, non-exclusive release of him with NXT title with his new heel persona. Sticking with NXT, and this figure may have been kind of announced, leaked, whatever. It looks like they're probably making it here right away. I'm talking about the one and only Ricochet. I don't know a lot about Ricochet. I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff in the indies. I haven't even seen a whole lot of his NXT stuff, but I know he's such a big star in that group, in that brand, that they need to make him. And I'll probably buy it, even if I'm not a huge fan. I've seen his gear. It's going to be a very visually appealing figure, especially if they get the tattoo right. So that's definitely one that needs to be announced, even if it's not a priority for my collection like Ciampa would be. Oddly enough, there's kind of a theme of NXT here, because the next one I want to talk about are the Iconics, and I think they need a 2-pack. I think they're due. I think there's people who have had figures released that maybe aren't as deserving as these two are. And me personally, I really only want the Peyton Royce. I think she is a star in the making. However, it'd be weird to have her and not Billie Kay. So put out a 2-pack, I will buy it. Okay, let's get away from NXT and even main roster, because that's where the Iconics are. And let's talk about some flashback figures. As you guys may know, if you watched last week's video, I don't collect the flashback figures. I am main roster, current guys only. Don't collect the flashbacks, except for Bret Hart. Unfortunately for me, Bret Hart only has a handful of elites that are out there on the market. We got this WrestleMania 31, we got the Hart Foundation with the Jim Neidhart from, I think it's Elite 42, and you got the current ringside exclusive King of the Ring 93 set, which I'll for sure be buying. And then you have the weird SummerSlam 2010 version where he's in his jeans, shorts, and t-shirt, and I don't really want that one. But then you have the two holy grails. You got the defining moments of the all black and the ringside exclusive in the all pink, and these figures are expensive AF. When I look at them on eBay, Canadian dollar listings of course, we're looking at $100 loose and complete, $200 in the package, $400 in the package and autographed. So all that rambling is going to lead to me wanting more Bret Hart elites. And I'm not saying re-release the defining moments and the ringside exclusive. I'm just saying give me more options for gear that he's worn. Jack's Classic Superstars put out a ton of Bret Harts. Why can't Mattel help a brother out? And the last figure I need in 2019 on this wish list here is a retro series Bret Hart. I don't collect the retros. I started, but there was just not enough to keep me interested. I only wanted to collect the current guys again, so I had your first series, right? Roman Reigns, John Cena, Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar. However, Series 2, there was nothing. And then by the time Series 3 came around, I kind of lost interest in the series. However, if Mattel puts out a retro series Bret Hart to go with my Hasbro version, I am all in. Sign me up, Mattel. So that is my wish list, but like I said, I went to Twitter, asked you guys what you were after, and here are some of the top results. @body_slammed wants a defining moment Becky Lynch where she's got her face all smashed in by Nia Jax and she's wearing the blue SmackDown t-shirt. I'll put a picture here. You all know what I'm talking about anyway. But it is the hottest picture of 2018. At Raw is Nitro Pod just wants more first edition guys. He wants to see the Steiner brothers and Chyna and the Barbarian. He looks at Greg Valentine and Al Snow and Zeus and Bob Holly and Mr. Fuji and Test. And he just wants to see more guys to fill out that 80s, 90s roster, and I get it. At BC_Ray27 wants Mattel to put out retro Hardy Boys in the Hasbro style. That's a good pick. I can see that. But if you're gonna do Hardy Boys, you gotta do Edge and Christian. You got to do Edge and Christian. At Hope Laz just wants an Elite Kairi Sane figure. And really, who doesn't? She's adorable and she dresses like a pirate. At Fully Posable Podcast wants a giant Elite Scale entrance to go with the Elite Scale rings. I personally don't have the room for a ring and a stage, but I would love to have both of those. Ideally, I would just get a giant table set up on the side of my room here and set that up. I mean, if they put out the stage, I'd probably try to make that happen for myself, for sure. At Big Woody Style wants Candice LeRae, Ricochet, me and this guy are on the same page, and he also wants to see Ultimate Warrior figures in the future come with interchangeable heads, with the alternate head having battle damage face paint, which is pretty cool. Jax did that one time on a WrestleMania 6 2-pack with Warrior and Hogan where they had battle damage. I mean, Hogan didn't have much battle damage, but Warrior did have the messed up paint on his face and chest. And finally, at Vintage Jax BCA wants to see more guys get retro releases who didn't have the Hasbro. So he mentioned Diesel, which I think is coming up, and Jeff Jarrett, who just happened to make his return in the Royal Rumble. He also wants to see, which I think is a pretty cool idea, is the main series of Elites get Build-A-Figures. Now, all the Build-A-Figures I've seen, anyway, from Mattel, have all been dudes wearing suits. They're all the same body mold. I want them to do more like Hasbro has, and even like Mattel has itself with the DC line, and have unique figures come out of it. I don't know who they could do though, but it'd be really cool to see, because usually the Build-A-Figures is like one big giant figure that's too expensive to just put out on a single release. But hey, Mattel, I know you're capable of doing it. You've done it before. So that's what me and the Twitterland want to see from Mattel this year. What do you want to see? Comment below something you want Mattel to release or at least announce this year that you would be super hyped for. If you're still here, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bevan Boychuk. And until next time, folks, I will see you next time, folks.